All right, what's up? Here we are finishing the day. Down about 80 bucks today. So small red day. Nothing too crazy. Really slow day. Traded 5 different stocks though. Mostly traded Signup and APLD. And then had some trades on CYTO, Mara, and STIM. So those were the 5 stocks that I traded, finishing down 80 bucks. Really nothing in the grand scheme of things. My problem here on SIDU, so first we'll go to STIM, STIM. I got a nice snipe trade right here at 83 for the break of 86, selling at 93. So quick 10 cents there on 200 shares, quick 20 bucks to start off the day. And I thought this was the beginning of a decent day at least. But then we didn't have anything until 9, and that's when SIDU popped up. And so it popped up, and I tried to get like the first pullback. I started getting in quite early, and that was my problem here on SIDU. I was trading and getting in before any sort of support bounce or any sort of demand area. So 63, still very extended after this first push. But you know what kind of messed me up was that the VWAP was way higher than the 90 EMA. So I thought maybe we would see a bounce off VWAP, some sort of support off VWAP. I think that's what caused me to get in here at 63, kind of high. And then immediately taking like a 10-15 cent loss. And then buying the reclaim kind of like the bottom of this wick, 55. Now probably about the middle of this candle. For support on VWAP, I was thinking we would see that next leg up to 4, maybe 390. SIDU is a low float, and we've seen this run pretty hard in the past. It's recently in June, it went from 150 to $9. So a really significant move. I thought we'd see something at least bigger than this. But I think there's just so many sellers and lots of bag holders, so I think that's contributed to this sell-off. Well, not really a rip, I mean. And so here, then, this didn't really hold up, but I didn't cut my loss yet because I was still trying to give it a chance. So I averaged down again at 345, take it off at break even or for a small win there at 53. Then it pulled back again. Got in at 46, which is a decent time to get in, but I got in before it broke down below 341. I should have been a little bit more patient, a couple more seconds. I could have got a better entry, and then that caused me actually to cut my loss right at the support level, which if I would have just waited a couple more seconds, it would have reclaimed, and I would have got actually a nice trade. So my problem here on SIDU was that I was a little bit too early getting in on my entries. So before we saw that dip, I would be adding before we got the dip, and then once we got the dip, I would be down maybe 8 or 10 cents, and then trying to kind of get back out, break even, when it could have actually been a better trade if I'd have just waited for the dip. Then here I got a trade over through the VWAP, which isn't too bad, and then here I was kind of anticipating a breakout, but took a couple break-even trades or small losses in that area, pulled back, and I was now thinking like an ABCD pattern. So here's the A, here's the B, and then the C is going to be the higher low, and then the D is going to be towards that breakout level. I was thinking we'd see something like this coming through, and then a move up to 4. That's why I was getting kind of aggressive down here at 360 for the support of VWAP. And then we flushed down through VWAP. I took average down a little bit, got back out break even, still holding like 400 shares or so, and then getting out at break even as it wasn't really holding the VWAP level, and then got back in 52 on this dip. I thought this was going to reclaim the 90 EMA, which it kind of did for a second there, but then it kind of started to fade and took a 3-cent loss there. And then overall, on SIDU, this whole pre-market nonsense here, I was down about 120 at the lowest, and then about like 109 after a couple more trades, and then by the end of the day I was only down 80. So made back about 40 bucks off the lowest. So I was down 120 at my lowest. Brenner's down 80. SIDU didn't get much at the open. I was trading I think APLD or CYTO, sorry. But then we did get sort of like a red to green breakthrough VWAP kind of thing. And I'm still trading small size, very conservative here. Unless it starts ripping up, I'm not looking to get too aggressive. Here I got a couple good trades in there. 2 cents, 2 cents, and 4 cents. Then another 3 cents or so. Bigger share size. Here's another 4 cents. So a couple good trades in that area. And then it ripped back up through the high of the next pivot point, and now we're moving that way up to the pre-market high, which in this case, I was trying to anticipate a breakthrough that high, that pre-market high, never really came. So it's kind of now scalping off the lows and kind of just slowly making back profits. And I was doing good. I made my way down to like only down 50 bucks on the day on all these scalps. And then I got this breakthrough $4 here and 700 shares, which isn't too bad. And then here on this backside, I looked away the screen for 1 second. I was waiting for this pullback since the 80s. We did get it, but I missed it because I wasn't looking at the screen. And then I kind of FOMO'd into it at 397 on the break back down. After the false breakout, but I was trying to get in on this dip under the 9 EMA, anticipating a reclaim, and which did happen. And I could have got a really good trade in there, but because I missed it, I got in kind of high on the way back down, and then it kind of just flushed through, and I lost 4 cents or so at 25 bucks or so. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, slow market, so these numbers are very small, which I like to keep it small when the market is slow. I kind of, felt by, after 10 minutes after the market opened, I figured it'd be a slow day because we haven't seen anything. And that's usually a sign to keep the size small so I can contain these losses. And that's what I did successfully today. My goal is, at least for right now, is to keep my red days at least under 100 bucks because my average green day the past 3 months has been $210. So I'm trying to keep the red days at least, at most $100 red day. So I'm trying to keep it 50% of my green days. So that means that for every 2 red days, I'll only be giving back 1 green day, which is really good. And my amount of green days versus my red days is about 25% of my days are red and 75% of my days are green. So a really good ratio there. And if I'm only giving back 50% of my green days over the long term, I'm going to be keeping majority of my profits through my green days and minimizing my red days. So that's a good gauge for any of you other traders who are trying to figure out how much should your red days be. For me, what's been working out is keeping my red days no more than 50% of my green days. And then over time, I'll be able to keep most of those profits that I make on a green day instead of giving it all of it back on the next day. If I were to, yesterday I made $487. If I were to come in today and try to make somewhere near that today in this market, I would have easily given back that within like a couple of trades because I'd be trying to sling big size on setups that aren't there just because I'm trying to get to an arbitrary number. But instead, I kind of read the market by like 9:35, 9:40. I knew something was not going to rip. If we were to see something by 9:40, if something was going to happen, and because nothing really happened, I was able to not size up. I was able to hold myself back from taking 1,000 share positions, $5,000 position sizes, and that contained a lot of the losses. And I see I'm here on Signup on $3 stock is only trading 200 to 300 shares, so that's really only barely $1,000 position size. We also traded CYTO was a bit of a disappointment here. Traded this a little pre-market, trying to kind of scalping off the low. Small gains. Then we did get a nice trade here. So I was getting that first pullback for the break through 73, but kind of got stuff in this level, and I took a 2-cent gain, which is actually not bad for a penny stock. 2 cents is really good for a penny stock. And then at the open, I was looking for that rip through that pre-market high. Here we have like a sort of a cup and handle pattern, or an ABCD pattern, sort of. So I was looking through 73. So I took my starter there, 2,500 shares. Did get faked out here at the open, but still holding 1,500 shares. And I'm adding back at 70, and then I'm taking some profits at 72. So that was a nice 2-cent gain on a lot of shares, or a bigger position size. And so 2 cents, I was up about, I think it was only down $20 on the day at this point. But then I was looking for that continuation. I thought CYTO had more in it, so I was holding a partial position, and then I added back on this dip at 73, looking for that breakthrough 75. And then we just got this dump here, and I didn't get out until 68. So way down here, selling at 69 and 68. So way down here, and I pretty much erased all those gains that I made on CYTO, which was only like $60, but you know, I would have contained my loss down to only $20 on the day. But that's because I didn't take all of my profits up here. I was looking for that bigger move, which in a better market, that would have been the best move. I would have actually made a lot more if I would have held that versus taking my profits early. So in a way, I did do something right if it was a different market. And that's something that I was working on, is just by holding more of my position and then adding for that continuation. But this market just didn't have it. Then quick scalp in there. And we also traded APLD. Go up to APLD here. Got chopped up in APLD. I was looking for that break through the high pre-market at 150 up here, 158. And it was a larger float, but I was trying to trade it like a penny stock. So literally I was just buying high and selling low. So I bought here, sold down here, kind of chased it back up here, sold back on here. Just pretty much getting chopped up in here. I was looking for that breakthrough 158. Eventually we did get it, and I actually got a decent trade, I think, on it. 46 to 48, then 52 to 55. So not terrible there, but still net red on APLD. Here we got a nice red to green, smaller share size, but a couple cents there. And that was it on APLD. Here I was looking for some continuation in the middle of the day. I kind of missed this red to green here again, but I was looking for a little, I don't know. I was looking for continuation, but it's a larger float stock and not really in my wheelhouse. So something I'm not really comfortable trading. You definitely needed to have ultimate patience for APLD and some of those larger float stocks. So at the end, I'm down $6 on it. Then the last trade I took was on MARA, but I was like taking very small share size, just kind of trying to accumulate on a backside, anticipating this bounce off the trend line, but didn't work out. And another thing, Amara is a huge float stock, definitely a larger cap, so market cap, so not in my wheelhouse either. And that was just the thing. Like today, just didn't have a lot of stocks in my wheelhouse to trade at. SIDU, which is really it, and then CYTO. And those are the only stocks that were really in my wheelhouse. Maybe STIM, but we only had one pop. But that was it. Not much opportunity, not much volatility, and keeping my losses small. So that's one thing I did right, is by keeping my loss small, not oversizing in this market. And I'm going to take that as a win. So going to come back tomorrow and hit it again. See, hopefully we get something better than what we got today. That would be ideal. Maybe we'll get some better opportunity. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, peace. If you're still watching at this point, do hit that like button. Also consider subscribing, and check out the description for a couple links to the Discord, as well as Trade Journal, a free stock journal analysis, trade journal analysis, where you can analyze your trades and document for your trades in your journal. And you can write notes and review all your statistics. It's pretty cool. Definitely check that out as well. All right. Catch you guys later. Peace.